What is up YouTube? It's Kingfisher745, and in this video we're going to take a look at the GG prototype, and I'm going to leave it up to you to decide whether it's an exploit or not. So after watching this, or maybe your own personal experience, I'd love to hear your comments on it and see exactly what you think about it and see what you think should be done. Well, if anything, because maybe you think that null just shouldn't be used in this game. Now, as for myself, I'm not going to give quite as scathing of a review as I was going to when I first encountered it, which you're actually seeing that first encounter here. Oh, and let me say this is something I heard about, but I didn't face it myself until fairly recently. But I remember when I first heard people talking about the GG prototype, I was just thinking to myself, well, here we go with a fantastic formula all over again. So basically that was my worst fear, but after facing it, well, at first, like I said, I was infuriated. You're seeing exactly what happened, and it couldn't have gone any better for the opposing team. But to be fair, this doesn't break your game and force you to reload like the fantastic formula. In fact, there are counters and it is beatable. So I at least have to say that. The first time through, and if you get into this loop, you may not realize that, but that was in large part due to the fact that null is the perfect catalyst for this combination. See, first there is the ablative helmet, and although I have this item, I always read that as ablative. But anyways, that's getting off topic. This quick action item causes you to generate cosmic energy when struck by melee attacks. It also reduces incoming melee damage. Then the GG prototype, and the GG stands for good game. It will consume one cosmic energy to become a quick action. So pretty much every time null uses his preemptive fatal fists, it's just going to give them another quick action shot. For me, unfortunately, it ended up being a nearly never-ending loop, so I have to say this is one of the worst case scenarios. So yes, at first, this obviously didn't make me very happy, but after examining the mechanics and switching up my team, I still think it's sketchy to say the least, but I am wondering what should PD do about it, or should they just leave it alone? I really would love to hear your suggestions on this topic. As for myself, well, let's just say I'm not going to use it anytime soon, even though I have both of these items. Now, as we wait for this painfully long match to conclude, let's talk a little bit about some counters to this. Well, first of all, you probably don't want to use null. The Breaker of Worlds will only end up breaking your game, or at least your PvP rating, so you may want to consider ranged attackers. For myself, I went back to using Havoc, and that of course leads me to the biggest counter, and that's going to be Exhausted. By spamming his level 6 plasma spheres, you're going to exhaust the enemies, and that's going to limit them to one action per round. Of course, this guy does have Groot who protects against area attacks, but luckily Havoc's level 6 is catastrophic. This means it can't be protected against, it ignores most avoidance effects, and it's guaranteed to hit. So how could this team effectively hold back Havoc? Well, I really shouldn't be helping those who use the GG prototype, but inevitably someone else is going to say it. So maybe something like the Refined Combat Serum, which removes and prevents opportunist debuffs. Hopefully I don't end up regretting that. But anyways, thankfully this nightmare is almost over. We only have to get null killed somehow. At the start of his turn he's going to take a lot of damage from Dot, so that should help out. And then my agent, well, he doesn't have far to go. Unfortunately, Groot doesn't do that much damage himself. I'm sure you can see how this was a pretty painful match, and I was on a really big win streak approaching 2,000 rating. After this I faced one more team like it, and that's when I decided to blow up my offensive team. So now we're using Havoc and Beast, and I actually forgot how quickly they can end a match, so I have to admit I'm really liking it right now. As far as this debacle, it's finally coming to an end. So right after the enemy Pestilence Beast attacks, Groot is actually going to do enough damage to take us down. That's going to bring us to the end of our look at the GG prototype, and I'll leave it up to you to decide, is it an exploit or not? Lastly, I want to thank you all for watching and ask you to please like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, good luck and take care.